Welcome to the second week in our Spring 2020 Flex Lesson Series. This week, our topic is study skills, something every student should learn in order to be successful. In this lesson, you will learn a few steps that can help you become that successful student. Without further ado, I present Study Skills 101, starring Wendy the Wacky Wavy Woman. Tip 1. Find an ideal work-study area. An effective work environment will be one that will minimize distractions, such as TV, phone, pets, family members, etc. Your workspace should have plenty of lighting and be comfortable, but be careful that it is not too comfortable. Otherwise, you might fall asleep or lose motivation to study. Your work area should be organized and not cluttered, giving you space to work and lay out all your materials. Something to think about. Do you need complete silence, or do you like low background noise, like music? What time of the day is best for you? Morning, afternoon, night? That's something you need to decide. In the first picture, you can see Wendy is in bed with a blanket and the lights are pretty dim. While this is definitely a comfortable place to be, this setting is more conducive to relaxing than studying. In the second picture, Wendy has moved to a more well-lit area of the house, which is a step in the right direction, but now she is in a laying position and has another distraction, the TV. In this last picture, we have an ideal situation. Wendy is sitting in a chair and in a position that will keep her awake and alert, in a room that is well lit so that she can see her work and has an area free of clutter and distractions. Note, she does not even have her phone out. Tip 2. Develop an effective note-taking strategy. Taking notes, whether in an in-person class or in a virtual class, will be important when it comes time to prepare for exams. Notes should not be what your teacher says word for word. You should be writing the key points of the discussion or overarching themes. By doing this instead of writing word for word notes, you are able to actively listen to the discussion while taking notes. Additionally, your notes can have highlights, bullets, arrows, etc., which can be used to emphasize certain topics or points. When you get home, go over your notes to check for clarity to make sure you understand what you wrote. One effective note-taking strategy is the Cornell method of note-taking, which our avid students learn and use. It's a method that has been proven to work. You can find a link on Cornell Notes below the video. Next, tip 3. Be an active reader. As you are reading, what are you doing? Do you remember or comprehend what you read? Or are you having to go back and read over and over to understand? As an active reader, you should be taking notes on what you read. Do not copy word for word from the book. For each subheading of the text, write the key points, the recurring ideas, and or the definitions of terms that you do not know. After reading, list important observations and themes from that section and any questions you may have. If you can write in the book, underline or highlight key points and circle recurrent ideas so that when you are studying in the future, you know what to pay extra attention to. Tip 4. Come to class with questions. Know when to ask for help. When you're working independently and a question arises, write it down so you can remember it. Coming to class with questions is useful because it allows your teacher to understand what you still need help with. By asking your teacher these questions ahead of time, not on the day of the test, you will be able to go back and review the answers to your questions as you prepare for future tests.
Hi, Miss Harper. I actually had a question as I was reading my notes last night. Can you explain the Treaty of Versailles again? Who were the big four who headed the Allies delegation?
Tip 5. Plan your review time and start early. Studying takes time. It can't all be done in one night or a couple of hours before a test, let alone 30 minutes before a test. You should spend several days studying ahead of an exam. You can start small at first, studying 15 to 30 minutes and increasing the amount of time as you get closer. By the time you get to that last night before a test, it should really be more of a review as opposed to a cram session. This will keep your brain fresher and allow you to get to bed earlier to make sure you are well rested. Tip 6. Test yourself often. One effective way to see how you are doing with studying is to test yourself often. This can be done in several different ways. If you are studying for a vocabulary quiz, for example, you can use flashcards and go over them several times a day. You can even have electronic flashcards. A website like Quizlet.com or the Quizlet app can be useful for this. Otherwise, there are several other apps you can download as well. If you have a math test coming up, you should be practicing the types of problems for that unit. Has your teacher provided you with a review guide or a link to an online practice quiz? These are helpful tools to test your knowledge as well. Another useful way to test yourself is to get help from someone else. You can then either teach them what you know or have them test you on what you know. As you are testing yourself, pay attention to what you do not know so you can go back and review that topic. The more often you test yourself, the better prepared you will be, but it can also be a good way to tell when you are ready so you can focus on another subject. This will stop you from overstudying as well.
Forcible and illegitimate attempt to seize power. Yes! German Parliament. Yes!
And last, tip 7. Take breaks and reward yourself. Now you're on a roll. You've completed several assignments and have studied for an upcoming test. This is great. Your work is paying off. Now it's time to take a break. Just like your body can get tired after a long run, your brain can get tired after working on homework and studying for several hours. It's important to take a scheduled break to keep your mind fresh. The break should not be too long. Maybe you can take a walk or go for a run. Maybe you can watch a short episode of a show you like, or play a quick game on your PlayStation, or even get a snack. Your break should allow you to relax your mind. It's also important to reward yourself, so you have something to look forward to when you complete the task. These two can be combined so that your break and reward can be done at the same time. This will stop you from taking too many breaks and losing your momentum. Now that we have heard all the tips, let's recap. Tip 1. Find an ideal work-study area. That will allow you to concentrate and stay focused. Tip 2. Develop an effective note-taking strategy, something that you know will work for you. Tip 3. Be an active reader, not a passive reader. Tip 4. Come to class with questions, know when to ask for help. That way your teacher knows how to help. Tip 5. Plan your review time and start early. this cannot be stressed enough, because starting early will help you learn the information so that you can recall it versus just recognizing it after cramming. Tip 6. Test yourself often. Again, can't be stressed enough. The more you test yourself, the better prepared you will be. And last, tip 7. Take breaks and reward yourself. You've made it this far. You've gotten a lot accomplished. You deserve a break to make sure you stay fresh longer. Hopefully these tips are helpful for you, and the views are effective when it comes time to study for the next upcoming test. Good luck. The end.